Hello.
Today is 14th March 2019. My name is Amina Gloria. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with Courage for America at Southern New Hampshire University. And I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With the consent, I will record the information in a secret video I'm working on for Contribute to Society project. The interview will be used to create a video and submit to CFA so that my project can be evaluated. Um, this recording will be used for this purpose. The interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions?
No question.
Um, do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes, all right.
Can you please read it?
I, Muhire Jackson, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm going to ask you a few questions about U.S. government, and these are the questions that every citizen of U.S. government is required to be aware of, and they are few, and I hope you're going to answer them.
Yes.
The first question is, what are the three branches of the government?
Yeah, the three branches of U.S. government is the legislative, executive, and judiciary.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, you made them like you said, legislative, judiciary, and executive.
Yeah.
The second question is, what do those branches do? Like the branches you stated, what does each branch do?
I think legislative is in charge of making laws to the government of the country, and the executive is the one which is in charge of making sure each laws is obeyed in the country. Judiciary, I don't getting well its function, but it's also the branch of the government.
Okay, that's great. So judiciary is the only one who shouldn't know what does. Okay, the third question is, um, Democrat, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties of U.S. government. Uh, uh, can you name the third party of the government?
Yeah, the third party of the government is minor party, which consists of other different parties that I don't
Okay.
remember them.
Yeah. Okay. All you know that is that it's the minor party.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay. The fourth question is, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I think a bill to become a law can pass through those branches that of the government that I said before. It means it comes from legislative, executive to judiciary. It means if the bill is going to become a law, the legislative is the one that comes first to transform that bill into a law, and finally, and then secondary, it goes to the executive and finally to the judiciary.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me your time and have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Hello, hi. Um, Today is 14th March 2019. My name is Amina Darila Hunda. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with Courage for America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a street interview I'm working on for a Contribute to Society project. The interview will be used to create a video and submitted to CFA so that my project can be evaluated. Uh, this recording will be used solely for this purpose. Um, the interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any question? Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded? Yeah, if you give your consent, can you please read it out to me?
I, Gloria, give my informed consent to participate in this interview, to be recorded and used as part of the study.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you some few questions which are about U.S. government, and these questions include the information that the citizens of U.S. government must know. Uh, the first question is, what are the three branches of U.S. government?
The three branches of U.S. government are legislative, um, executive, and democratic.
Okay, so you say legislative, executive, and democratic. Okay, it's okay. The second question is about what does each branch do? Like those branches you stated.
Okay, so the legislative branch is in charge of making laws and in charge of creating laws, I can say. And the executive is in charge of making sure that those laws are obeyed. So the third one, I can't remember very well. I think they're in charge of seeing if those laws are really needed in the society and if they are applied by the community.
Okay, thank you so much. We talked about the first one, which is about making laws, another one making sure whether the law is obeyed, and another one we talked about like
Making sure if democratic, making sure if laws created are needed and if they're applied by the community.
okay, great. The third question is Democrats and Republicans are the major parties of US government. Can you name a third party?
Mm, uh, there's somewhere I just heard someone saying the Green Party, so I think that is the one which is this that party.
Okay, that's great. The fourth question is what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
So the basic process, what I know is that it takes a long process because in the government there are different branches and different people are in different who are in charge of different things. So a bill to become a law, first it is first given by the executive by the legislative branch, and the executive branch they try to see how is the law how is it needed by the society, how can it be applied, and after the law, yeah, I know those process only.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me your information and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amina Gloria. I'm going to talk about the questions I've been asking in the street video. I'm going to make some correction for those questions and give some specific answers for those questions, and also speak somehow detailed about those questions. I'll give some explanations about the questions. The first question says that what are three branches of the government? The three branches of the government, one is legislative branch, executive branch, and judicial branch. The second question says, what does each branch do? Uh, the legislative branch is in charge of making laws, and it is made by Congress, and where there are two types of Congress, House of Representative and the Senate. executive branch is in charge of making sure that the laws of the United States are obeyed. So here in the executive branch, the president of USA is the one who is the head of that branch, and he gets some help from the vice president of United States of America. Um, the third branch, which is judicial branch, is in charge of deciding the meaning of the laws, how to apply them in the real situations, and whether the laws breaks the rules of the constitutions. Here, the people in charge of this branch in the Supreme Court. So those are the people that um, like make sure that the judicial branch make up the judicial branch. Uh, the third question. Uh, here I'm going to talk about how each those branches connect. The branches are connected in the way of making decisions. As you can see, like there is executive branch, there is legislative, executive, and judicial. When you're making like the when you're making decisions, you can't, like as we had, uh, legislative is in charge of making laws, executive is in charge of making sure those laws are obeyed, and judicial is in charge of making sure that those laws do not break the rules of the constitution. So like the each branch depend on another branch so that can accomplish its work. Taking an example, executive branch cannot make sure that the laws are obeyed when the laws are made. So the laws have to first be made, then the executive branch makes sure that those laws are obeyed, and judicial makes sure that they don't break the rules of constitution. Um, Another question is, how do they regulate to each other, like checks and balance? So each branch checks the actions of the other and checks whether they balance. So when for the branch to be accomplished, or to, like when, like those people who are in charge of those branches, they make sure that the branch checks the action of other branch, and make sure that the actions of those branches also balance. So that's how they regulate each other. So the third question says, Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. um, can you name the third party? So the third party includes the parties of the minor party, which are Green Party, Libertarian Party, and Constitution Party. So Democratic Party involved from anti-federalist factions that opposed the physical policies of Alexander Hamilton in the early 1790s. The first president of the new party is Andrew Jefferson in 1828. Republican Party was formed by anti-slavery activists in 1854. It came to power in 1860, and Abraham Lincoln was the first president of this party in 1860. So the third party includes Green Party, Libertarian Party, and Constitution Party. And these parties were unsuccessful because there is the dominance of two main parties, which is Republican Party and Democratic Party. And there are minor parties, like these minor parties do not have financial resources that can help them to pass elections when they don't have means of like money and some other things that can help them in campaigns so that they can pass the elections. Uh, so about the impact of this third party, it plays a role of putting pressure on candidates of major parties to address the issues. Another thing is that it also impacts as the way of protection for the citizens. So it also has some pillars which can help the state in their activities and the citizens of the country in general. So you can see that this third party has an impact to United States of America and also to the citizens of the country. So the fourth question says, what is uh, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? So here I'm going to explain how a bill becomes a law. First of all, a bill is born. This is where the bill is drafted and is made. And another step is the committee action. The committee take action where the bill that was made is introduced, and the committee don't. And when the committee don't react on the bill, that means that it is not effective, and when they react on it, it means that it is effective. So here it is when they take that bill in the committee and they discuss on it so that they can make some reactions on it so that it can be in the process of being a law. And after that, the subcommittee review the bill and then study everything. So it becomes from the committee to the subcommittee. Subcommittee reviews like that bill and study everything about the bill. It provides the opportunity to put on the record the views of the executive branch, where the sponsors for the where the sponsors um, are there to support them when they're reviewing the bill. So after that, there is markup of the bill. Where they decide if the bill is reported to the registration, which is considered as a full committee. Another thing here, another step is where the committee take action to report a bill, where the debate is done to vote for the bill and approve it. Here there is the debate is done in the committee so that they can vote for that bill and approve it. Uh, another step is where there is referral to another chamber. This is when the bill is approved, rejected, or there is changed. So here there is approval of the bill. Also they can reject it or they can change it. Another action is the conference committee action, which includes the House and the Senate to approve the conference report, which leads to the final action where the president sign and then bill becomes a law. Here the committee includes the House of and they approve the conference, um, and this leads to the final action where the president sign and then the bill becomes a law. Thank you so much for watching this video.